Good Erev Shabbos. Today is not Friday. Today is, in fact, Erev Shabbos. I want to thank our generous series sponsors for Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos. Mendy and Sipora Fishman, a Schutz V'chai Rivka Bat Sipora Friedel, and in memory of Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, Rabbi Yaakov Tzvi Ben David Aryeh. Today's Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos is also sponsored by Shlomo Rosenblatt for the Refuah Shlema of his sister Tova Adina Bas Bracha Leah Yita. She'll have a complete and speedy Refuah Shlema. Shabbos is the Noam HaNeshamos. Shabbos is the pleasantness, the sweetness of the Neshama. It's not that we tolerate Shabbos, we tolerate the whole rest of the week. We look forward to, we long for Shabbos. We can't wait for it. We can't wait for the Holy Shabbos. And today we turn our Friday into Erev Shabbos, counting down, counting up, getting ready. And part of that process is not only setting the table and cooking the meal and shopping for the groceries and uncorking the wine and inviting the guests, but what about us? How are we transformed going into Shabbos? Not a big exhale and a big relief and a big shluf. It's not simply that Shabbos we can turn off. Shabbos we turn on. Shabbos we don't fall asleep. Shabbos we wake up. Shabbos we don't lean out. Shabbos we lean in to who we are and what we're capable of. There's a beautiful Balaturim that connects to our Parsha, but whenever you're listening to this, is relevant to Shabbos all the time. Our Parsha, Vayakel, begins with Moshe gathering, collecting all the Jewish people. Vayakel, a kihila, a kahal, to come together, to be a community. And what does he introduce? The mitzvah of Shish Shamim Taseh Melachtecha V'Yom Hashi Yalachem Kodesh Shabbos Shabbos Ol Hashem. Shabbos, we come together, we gather. When are we a kehila most? We are united by and connected, not only with Shabbos because we can't drive or fly or go anywhere, not only because we're not going to work, but because Shabbos, the Makor Bracha, Shabbos, which is the essence of all of Bracha, is the time that we tap into it by being most together. When we are united, when we are a call, when we are a tzibor, when we are a community, is when we elevate Shabbos. Shabbos elevates us. And it changes our whole demeanor. It changes our whole disposition. It changes our personality. It changes who we are. All week long we walk around and we're anxious and we're worried and we're negative and we're frustrated and we're bitter and we're resentful and we're nervous. And therefore we have this fabis in the face. It's all wrinkled and crinkled and scrunched because there's so much to do when we're running. Our head is down because we're scrolling and we're typing and we're looking. And Shabbos, you can let it go. So I want to suggest to you that we turn on Friday into Erev Shabbos with some breathing exercises before you go to Mincha at Shul, before you light the candles at home. Literally change our demeanor, our disposition, our appearance, our posture. I don't want to get too hokey pokey, too new age, but take in deep breaths and exhale, because the neshama is the same word as neshima. We restore the neshama through neshima. So that neshama, which has been so fast-paced and running and filled with so much noise all week long, some deep breaths and calm down and let the muscles of the face all relax and all release, and our whole face will look different. Instead of someone seeing you and saying, "What's the matter? What's wrong? What are you frazzled by?" Let them say, "How are you so calm? Why are you so tranquil? What's going on?" And that's the beginning of our Parsha, because the Balaturim at the bottom of beginning of our Parsha points out that our Parsha that begins with Shabbos comes right after the end of last week's Parsha. And what happened at the end of last week's Parsha? Moshe Rabbeinu had these incredible rays of light. Now, Renaissance artists inaccurately depicted it as Moshe Rabbeinu had horns. That's why non-Jews who've never met Jews before ask and wonder, where are your horns? Where did they get from the idea that Jews have horns? It's not necessarily anti-Semitic. They don't necessarily mean it as an insult. It comes from Renaissance art, where these light that the Torah, the Bible depicts that Moshe had these karnei hod, the karan or panav, he had these rays of light that radiated from his face, that holiness, that sanctity, that innocence, that purity, that goodness, that energy that radiated. They falsely, inaccurately depicted as horns, but that's what Moshe had. Says the Balaturim, the end of last week's Parsha, Moshe has these rays of light. The beginning of this week's Parsha, the mitzvah of Shabbos. Why? Lomar she'ein adom keren panim shel Shabbos tashar yamim. To tell us you cannot compare a person's face, Shabbos, and the rest of the week. The whole week we're scrunched and crunched and anxious and nervous and working hard. Shabbos, we release it all. And Shabbos, we let it go. And just like Moshe Rabbeinu could radiate that light, so can we on Shabbos. We know that the neshama has 5 layers of 5 levels to it. The nefesh, the ruach, the neshama, the chaya, and the yechida. 5 different levels of the soul, components of soul. So the balei chayim, all animal life, has that lowest level. All animal life has a nefesh. A cat and a dog and a lizard and an iguana, they have life, they're a nefesh. On top of that, all human beings have a ruach, a spirit. The human soul is superior to the animal soul, but it's just the universal human soul. Klal Yisrael have a neshama, an additional layer. By being obligated in Torah and mitzvos, that elevates and enriches and empowers the soul. And we have not just a nefesh, not just a ruach, now we have a neshama. But there's another level. Beyond the neshama is the chaya. And then the person who's most in sync, most in tune, most conscious, most mindful of Hashem in their life, they have the highest level yechida. They're like a malach. Their soul is so closely connected to Hashem. So ordinarily we walk around the whole week long, and we're not just a nefesh like an animal, and nor are we just a ruach like all of humanity. We have a neshama, a Yiddish neshama. But Shabbos comes and we get a neshama yisera, and the neshama yisera that we get on Shabbos brings us up to the level of chaya. We're truly alive. That means on Shabbos, our neshama is broader, is bigger, is brighter. And therefore, just like Moshe Rabbeinu had this illumination, this radiance, had this light, this energy, that's the way we are on Shabbos. Now, of course, we don't take pictures on Shabbos, but if a person had a picture of themselves on Shabbos and a picture of themselves during the week, there should be no comparison between the two. There's our vachadik upon him, there's the weekday look of being nervous and anxious and worried and working overtime, and then there's the Shabbos panim of serenity and tranquility and peace and love and energy and the light that radiates from us. So the Baal HaTurim is telling us that doesn't happen automatically. It comes with conscious effort. It comes with intention. It comes with mindfulness, to do some deep breathing, to lift and to relax and to tighten and to release and to be able to let it all go. Put it up there and take it down after Havdalah on Motzei Shabbos. Let it all go. It's a beautiful insight. I've shared it before of Menachem ben Zion Zaks, son-in-law of the Hartzvi, chief rabbi of Yerushalayim. He says, when we sing Friday night Lechadodi Likras Kala, and Pnei Shabbos Nakabla, let's go greet the Shabbos queen. Pnei Shabbos, so the face of Shabbos Nakabla, let's go receive. So ordinarily we think, what does it mean, let's go receive the face of Shabbos? It means turn around and face the back. It means that when the sun goes down and 3 stars come out, Shkia, sunset on Friday, Shabbos is here, let's go greet the Shabbos Panim, the face of Shabbos. But he suggests so beautifully, Pnei Shabbos Nakabla, and this is a kavanah I've tried to have ever since I first saw this insight, is that Friday night when we sing Lechadodi, what we're singing and saying to each other is Pnei Shabbos Nakabla. Let's go get our Shabbos panim. We have the Vachadika panim, the weekday panim, the worried panim, the anxious panim, the working too hard panim. Let's go put on the Shabbos panim. The Shabbos panim means as soon as we light candles and as soon as we come home from shul, hello everybody. There's not a care in the world. There's no stress. There's no worry. There's simply love and serenity. There's me'ein olam haba, a piece of that world to come. There's the weekday face, and we wear that weekday face all week. Unless you're at Tzaddik, at Talmud Chacham, the Yerushalmi says they're bechina of Shabbos all week long. They're able to wear that face and feel that serenity and connect to Hashem at that level, not only of the nefesh and the ruach and the neshama, but the chaya. They're able to feel that all week long. But for us, we're at the level of neshama. We climb a level on Shabbos, therefore we can radiate, we can let it all go. When we disconnect and to the things around us and connect to Hashem, the people we love and ourselves, then we climb another rung on that ladder and we go from a nefesh to a ruach to a neshama to chaya. We're alive. We become truly alive with that neshama yisera that Shabbos gives us. So chevra, today's not Friday. Turn this Friday into Erev Shabbos. Let's turn our Friday into Erev Shabbos. And the way we turn our Friday into Erev Shabbos, go put on that Shabbos panim. Take off the Vachadik panim, the weekday panim. Go put on the Shabbos panim, the panim of serenity. And may Shabbos bring the hostages home, end this war, return the soldiers to their families. Should be a Shabbos of Geula, a Shabbos of Besoros Tovos, Yeshuas, V'Nachamos.